Hello. Today, I'm here to just talk about Spider-Man because I've been rewatching the Spider-Man movies in light of all the brand new day stuff coming out, which I'm so excited for that movie. I think that movie's going to be fantastic if they can do it right, especially considering they're bringing Hulk back in. That movie could be insane. If they're going to bring Hulk back in, we could get Savage Hulk back. Mr. Negative being the main villain, Scorpion coming back. I'm excited for that movie. But I've been rewatching the old ones to really decipher because I've always been a Tobey Maguire type of guy. He's always been my favorite Spider-Man. But after rewatching all the movies, I still think he's my favorite Spider-Man and Peter Parker. But I kind of go by category. I think that Tobey Maguire, I think most people would agree, did the best Peter Parker. I don't think he did the best Spider-Man. I actually think Andrew Garfield did the best Spider-Man. And then I think Tom Holland did the best mix between the two. But after rewatching all the movies, my favorite movie is definitely still Spider-Man 2. That is a fantastic movie. But I can say that Spider-Man 3 definitely brings that trilogy down. It's an okay movie, but I don't know. I think the movie series wise, I prefer Tom Holland's, the MCU one, because I've been rewatching it, and my rankings would definitely go Tom Holland's movies, Tobey's movies, Andrew's movies. I love Andrew's Spider-Man. He's never been my favorite, but I do love him. I don't mean like not my favorite and I don't like him. He's just not my favorite of the three. I love all of them. But I think Amazing Spider-Man 2 definitely struggles. Now, the movie's all over the place, but it has one of the best death scenes in all of fiction. I love that Gwen death scene. It's just they did not nail Green Goblin. They should not have brought him in yet. If they wanted Gwen to die, it should have had to do with Electro. Because it just didn't fit. The death was fitting. That death really was a pinnacle to his character and Peter's character. If we saw a third movie, I think it would have been a really, really good movie because it was really a pinnacle to that character. But after I rewatched the MCU ones, and I still need to rewatch Avengers to see his character in that and everything, I rewatched Homecoming, which I actually think Homecoming is one of the best Spider-Man movies. It was really good. But the thing I didn't love about Homecoming is Vulture's a great villain, but he doesn't really challenge Peter in a like really meaningful way. Obviously, the building scene where the building falls on him, he has to prove he's Peter Parker. Not Peter Parker. He has to prove he's Spider-Man. I love that scene. I think it's a fantastic scene. And throughout the whole movie, I like the dynamic between him and Iron Man. If you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it. I think that's a great message. But unlike Green Goblin and Spider-Man 1, he just doesn't have any stakes, right? There's stakes. Right? He says, "I'll kill you and everyone you love," which I think is a really well delivered line. But to me, it didn't feel like there was a lot of stakes to it. Like it felt like nothing was gonna happen. Like it almost felt like you knew. I mean, obviously you always know Spider-Man's gonna win, but it just felt like there weren't a lot of stakes to it. You know what I mean? There just weren't. It didn't feel like a lot of stakes to it. And then Far From Home, which is the second one, I think is so overhated. I love Far From Home because I love Mysterio as a villain. I know a lot of people don't actually like Mysterio's villain in this. I don't know why. I think he was a great twist villain. And people that read the comics already knew that he wasn't actually doing any of this. So, and that's kind of how I was. But I think he was a great twist villain for people who didn't know, because I think they did it really well of hiding that he's just using drones. And I thought that was done really well. I liked the MJ dynamic in this movie. I liked everything in the movie, but again, there weren't really stakes. That's one thing I do understand why this movie gets criticism. He didn't really develop as a character throughout the movie. In Homecoming, he did. He developed as a character, but there weren't a ton of stakes in the movie. And in this one, you're kind of hoping for that pinnacle Spider-Man movie, like you see in the original Sam Raimi's. You got Green Goblin, Doc Ock. Sorry, but where you have in the original Sam Raimi's, you have such good developing characters. Green Goblin just challenges Peter in another way, of a high stakes way, right? Green Goblin's willing to do anything. And then you have Doc Ock, who again puts stakes on really MJ. But I think where Tom Holland's struggle is they do have stakes, but I don't know. I feel like people who really watch the movies, rewatched them, kind of get what I mean. Is in the originals, Green Goblin was such a menacing villain. Like you felt that anybody could die. Obviously, in Spider-Man, but I felt like they could kill anybody off with Green Goblin, and he could do anything that he wanted to. He was crazy. He was a madman. Then you have Vulture. Vulture wasn't a madman. He was smart. He knew what he was doing, and he didn't want to kill anyone. He didn't want to kill anybody in Peter. He didn't even want to kill Peter. Right? He didn't want to do these things. He just wanted to do his business. Right? And then Mysterio was the same way. He didn't want to kill Peter. Neither of them, like, really disliked Peter, unlike in the originals where, Doc Ock wanted to murder Peter. Right? Green Goblin wanted to murder Peter. Right? They didn't like get pushed to the point where like, oh, now I have to kill Peter Parker, which is how Vulture and Mysterio were. I think they just weren't pure, like they were not evil. In the originals, they were evil. And even in Amazing Spider-Man 1, with the Lizard, which I actually think is a pretty good movie, he doesn't like get pushed to the point of I guess I have to kill Peter. He from the kind of beginning wants to fight and kill Peter, right? But he also doesn't want to. He gets to do his business. But if you watch it, you kind of get what I mean. Like they weren't any high stakes, and I think that's where No Way Home. I think it might be my favorite Spider-Man movie, outside of Spider-Man 2, where Green Goblin is introduced. Okay, all the other villains are there, but Green Goblin is introduced, and he brings back those stakes of, oh, he just killed Aunt May. He'll do whatever. He's not gonna just be like, oh, I won't do that. I'm not gonna mess with your aunt. He'll kill him. And I think it really shows. And I think in No Way Home, Peter really grows as a character. As much as it's kind of a feel-good movie, he really grows as a character from I'm going to try and do everything I want and not really care about how it affects anybody outside of my little circle to now he has to, his decisions are making a big impact on everyone. I think that's part of the thing. Is in the beginning of the movie, we see the whole college thing and all this, and you even seen earlier movies that he almost gets everything he wants. Everything always works out. Everything always goes to plan. So everything not going to plan in an extreme way of an Aunt May dying really affected his character. And we see that. And the other Spider-Man showing up also really helped his character grow. His character really grew in No Way Home, and I was a big fan of it. I was a big fan of the way his character went in No Way Home. And I like Far From Home, and I like Homecoming. I think that those three movies are actually the best trilogy of Spider-Man movies we've ever got. And I hope Brand New Day is good too. But overall, I think Tom Holland plays the character really, really, really well. But I really just wanted to get on here and talk about how much I love No Way Home. I just rewatched it not too long ago. And it's so much fun to watch. It's a fun watch, but it's sad. Like, it had me on the brink of tears at points. It is a sad movie. When Aunt May dies, at the end, when he has to have everybody forget who he is. And that's where I think his character really stepped up and was like, you know what? This is bigger than me. This is bigger than me, and I need to take a step about that. Because I think in all the other ones, he just kind of was like, well, I'm going to do something that affects me positively and everybody else. I'm going to try and make things good for me. And I think that this was finally the first decision he had to make that was like, I'm not going to do this for me. I'm going to do this for everybody else. Right? Because he always would say, it's like, oh, it's not for me. It's for my friends. But you could tell. It was for him. But right at the end there, you could tell that he was taking on that responsibility of, he's got to give everything up to save everyone. And he kind of matured a lot. I feel like his character matured a lot. And I really love it. I think No Way Home's a fantastic movie. I would watch it again right now. It's a fun watch. It's really good. Homecoming's really good. Far From Home is really good. I don't think there's really a bad Spider-Man movie, if I'm being honest with you. Spider-Man 3, could we call it a bad one? Because it's all over the place, but it's not. If anything, it's kind of funny. Like, it's still a fun watch. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is probably the one I would say is not good. And that's just because Green Goblin. I think Electro's actually pretty well done. There's some good scenes in that movie. Like, so the Gwen's death scene is one of the best death scenes, I think, in all of any superhero movie ever. It's really well done. Like I think it's up there with Iron Man. And it's sad, right? I think that's part of Spider-Man's character is he's always this jokey guy, but his story really is sad. It's not a happy story when stuff happens. I mean, he's a sad character. He's kind of a depressed, broke guy living in an apartment, as he's supposed to be. But he always stays positive for other people, but on the inside, he really is not happy. And I'm hoping that's kind of where they're going in Brand New Day. Obviously, I don't want him to be depressed and just suck and like kill himself. But I think that they need to get true back to the character. And I think the only one who really, really understood Spider-Man's character was Sam Raimi. I think he understood Peter Parker, actually, now I think about it. Peter Parker a lot better. I don't think he understood Spider-Man, but the Peter Parker aspect of it, I think Sam Raimi nailed. And I think they're gonna nail it in Brand New Day. You know, I think they have all this building materials, and you have other good supporting characters. You have Punisher, you have the Hulk. They've both been confirmed. The suit looks good, right? You have Scorpion, you have Mr. Negative as villains. You have all the tools to make a really, really good movie, right? You can make a good Spider-Man movie and make Hulk back to being an amazing character. Bring back Savage Hulk, for the love of God. Get rid of this stupid ass Smart Hulk that nobody likes. I don't think there's a single person who likes Smart Hulk. So I'm hoping they do that in Brand New Day. But I just want to go on here and get my thoughts. I'm a huge Spider-Man guy, so this is probably going to be one of my longer videos of me just talking. And if you made it this far, I'd be shocked. But, you know, I'm going to go ahead and bop on out of here. If you want to subscribe, you can. Anyways, bye-bye.